So my role here is to lead the development of a site which was a home for all of the TV and media and journalists to broadcast the Olympics in London 2012 to the world, and to turn it into something which has an enduring legacy for the local population, and to drive activity that fills it with over 5,000 people.
Okay, it's a big building, big sign at the top, big vision. How quickly is that going to happen?
So we started this project back in 2011. We had access to funds, that was fine, but we needed to very quickly build a team with the expertise to refurbish something and restore something which is 1.2 million square feet of space. It is huge.
And so the plan is to fill it up with what?
So it's mixed, actually. What we want to do is to make sure it's not just of one type. When we put the original vision together, we put it around four key components around education, employment, enterprise development and the environment. So the 4 E's we used to call them. And I think when we put the education piece in, we wanted research in universities in this part of London.
So very high-end, higher education.
It could be high-end, but also we wanted to work into the local schools. So we're developing a pipeline of activities so that local students can have this aspiration to come here and continue to study at a higher level. And we've already got examples. It's a very international student body who's here already. We've also got local students on grants and bursaries set up between Legacy Company and the university. What we also wanted then was employment. We're creating a space which will ultimately home over 5,000 workers. So originally people thought, great, we're setting up a company that's going to employ 5,000 people. That's not the case. We've created a mixed-use environment where you can either come as a single person who's starting a new business, up to an office of 50,000 square feet of space. It was all like a headquarters style of operation. But we have something called the Broadcast Centre. It was a home for TV studios. So we wanted to make sure that we also had digital media and broadcasters here as well, tapping into the real values of what this building was built for in the first place in 2011, 2012. So we have our very first tenant to move in was BT Sport. So we've got TV studios here as well, which leads to data visualization companies, which leads to animation, which leads to digital media and marketing. The enterprise element is exactly what the innovation centre is for. So space for 800 to 1,000 people, starting businesses. But again, the universities are so important in being able to deliver impact and support and research into how startups can grow. The final point was the environment, and we wanted to recycle the buildings. The other aspect of it was about creating the right type of environment, a place where people can come together. Our entrances, our atriums, our public realm, our theatre is all designed to bring people together. So our role now becomes, as opposed to just a salesman trying to let the space for the team running the place, is how do we become the connectors on site? And then our role then becomes the connectors into the community to make sure that people understand what's going here.
But what about the sort of get your hands dirty stuff? Is that going to happen here too? Or?
So we are building 21 creative and artistic and maker-style studios up on what we call the gantry, looking east across the park. And that is very much a home for the product development or the creative artistic studios. And that was something that was a real response to. We didn't have to do that. It was part of an affordable workplace strategy. We understand the pressures. If you are trying to work in a very creative way, then actually market forces are operating against you. So we saw that as a real opportunity to support the local community. But what I would say about, if you look over the history and the industrialisation of this area, it has gone through amazing changes. And actually what we're looking at now is often used, little understood about the fourth industrial revolution. So we're looking at building a place here which plays straight into that. This is the future for technology, and it's the future of our society being established here. And at the same time, what we're trying to do is make sure that creative spirit which exists here is locked in.
So you're actually trying to recreate the kind of cultural crush or cultural dynamism that was in this area before, purely by happenstance. You're trying to make that happen in a more managed way.
I think, and it's important to recognise it is in a managed way. It's not in a contrived way, because the creative community come here because it was cheap. And it was cheap because it was industrial space in a post-industrial era. And we're moving into an industrialised era again, but actually it costs a lot of money to get the places fit for purpose for that type of industry. So our role is to make sure that we commit to build suitable facilities to enable the creatives to stay here and not have to decant and look for the next cheap place.